Hi everyone and welcome to episode 18 of Conquer the Curse at Benfica with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So, quite a simple episode today really. We finish off our group stage in the Champions League against Bayern Munich and we've already qualified. It's been fantastic. We are unbeaten, 5 out of 5 wins so far in the group. We've got a few injuries today, but it's a bit of a free hit really. Already qualified top spot. Can we put Bayern Munich in their place one more time? Let's find out. Spoiler alert for anybody just joining us. My Benfica team are really quite good. Domestically speaking, we're dominating everything. We are still absolutely at the head of every competition that we are trying to participate in. And the same goes for the Champions League. If we go into the competition page, you'll see we are doing brilliantly well across the board. But there is something really big happening in terms of our Champions League group stage. 5 games played, 5 wins in a group that has Basel, Inter Milan and Bayern Munich. Not bad at all, I would suggest. And we've dominated most of the games we've played. Today might be a slight stretch too far though, because firstly, we have to play Bayern Munich, who are the toughest team in the group along with us by far. But we do have a few injuries, so we have had to rotate the first team for the game in the Champions League for the first time really this season. Most of the time we've been able to rotate around the domestic stuff and keep everybody fit and healthy. Hasn't quite happened in the last couple of weeks of game time, unfortunately. So that's just one of those things. But other than that, everything's going brilliantly well. Can we do it one more time in the group and go undefeated? Let's see. So, bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you will see the injured players. So we've got Zabanye, one of my central defenders, is out, and he is out for anywhere up to 3 weeks. Verratti's picked up a knock. He's in training again soon, but I just don't need to risk him today. Jota, a wing option for us, is out for 4 to 7 weeks. Unfortunately, he's picked up a pretty bad hip injury. And then Moukoko, unfortunately, misses today against Bayern Munich. He's out for the next 2 weeks, just with a bit of a calf strain. So shouldn't be causing him too much of a problem, but just doesn't quite make the bench or the starting lineup for today, unfortunately, with a little bit of injury time still to go. So other than that, everybody else is doing great. We have been able to rotate and move the team around and keep as many people fit and healthy as we can. Just occasionally injuries hit, don't they, really? And there's not much you can always do about that. So this is why we have a squad, and it's a good squad. You see, domestically speaking, we are doing well. If we go quickly, actually, into the schedule, you'll see that the recent matches that we've played have been very, very good. Since you and I were together last for this Basel game, we've played Inter Milan, beat them 2-1, had a bunch of good results in the domestic campaign in the league and the cup competition as well. But if we go back all the way through the season, Sporting, 1-1 draw against Sporting is the only blip on a sea of green. Can we keep that up for today's match against Bayern Munich? It's going to be slightly trickier, maybe, than I hoped it would be, but confidence is high, so let's see how we do. So, for today's match in the Champions League group stage against Bayern Munich, we go with Sanchez in goal, Porro at right back, and Benzaboni at left back, Morato and Badiashile in central defence, Tonali and Bernardo in central midfield, Trincao on the right, Everton on the left, and Nunes and Costa up top, and a bench of Fiat, Selic, Svensson, Luis Goncalves, Moreira and Simic. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So, as you saw, recent performances and results have been very good. So, I've just asked for more of the same, very chilled out gesture, and just said, pick up from where you were in the last game. And there's no reason to think that that will do us any harm if we manage it, really. Bayern Munich will be very, very tricky. Of course, we're at home, which helps, but we have that slightly rotated 11. And Bayern will come in with their 4-2-3-1. They've got a really fantastic set of players, haven't they, really? The likes of Goretzka, Leroy Sané in there. Lots of potent attacking forces. So we've got to be on our mettle today, really, to get something from this particular match. Ultimately, it's a free hit. We don't have to win the game, but I'd quite like to, just to keep that sea of green going, really, for no other reason than that. So we'll see how we get going. But early in this first half, 8 minutes in, first highlight for us on the corner kick. Badiashile gets underneath it, heads it over the top of the bar, unfortunately. Good delivery in from Trincao, and then a slightly weird delivery in, it seems, from a free kick or something that went straight through to Neuer in the Bayern Munich goal, and he'll get a chance to set Bayern Munich going again. We win it for a moment, but it's a poor clearance, and Bayern Munich pick up the loose ball and come on the counter-attack down the right-hand side, get to the top of the box, cross it in. We get a partial header clear, but they win the ball back again. And there's another chance. Kimmich with a really good ball through. That was threading the needle, as it were, wasn't it, through that one? And in the end, Sané, no problems with his pace on that side. He can always just scoot away from a defender if they're not paying attention. And he moves, and Kimmich spots him, puts it in the space. Kind of a simple finish, really, wasn't it? Unfortunately, 10 minutes in, and we are 1-0 down. I did kind of fear for this one, if I'm totally honest. I do feel like Bayern Munich will want to get their own back on what we did to them at the beginning of the group stage, where we beat them away from home 2-1. It's just about, can our slightly rotated 11 pick up a goal and cause them a problem and get us back into this game at this point, really? Because if they can't fairly soon, you'd imagine that Bayern will keep having the chances. 16 minutes in, another looping header over the top for them. We have had our chances, but not quite as many, and we haven't been as clinical as Bayern Munich have. And here is another opportunity for them to show that that's the case. And they get it down the right-hand side. Goretzka tries to cross in. They're going to win the loose ball. They keep winning that loose ball, and it provides a second goal for them. 20 minutes on the clock. And our big problem has been we've been defensively reasonable, but whenever we're trying to clear the ball, head it away, kick the ball downfield, etc., it's just gone straight back to Bayern Munich. We have not been able to find a way out from our own defensive unit to a slightly more secure player that we can then build a counter-attack off of, unfortunately. And that shows in the sense that we've had 3 shots at goal, but only 1 on target, really, and lacked possession, 33%. So a demonstration that if we do not have our starting lineup on the pitch for one of these Champions League matches, then it can cause us a big problem. When we have, I think we're a match for quite a number of teams these days, but look at that. I mean, he just strolled past our players like they weren't even there. Confidence has gone completely in this first half. So we're going to have to try and boost that up. So let's go and demand more from them as we get a clearance finally that goes to one of our players. Costa, one of our strikers, holds the ball up and then just runs into trouble, really. Tries to keep the hold of the ball, doesn't help himself. And in the end, we lose out on that occasion. This is better, though. Trincao wins ahead of Darwin Núñez into the box, and they've given us a penalty. Pongracic, that's not a good tackle by him in the box. It was silly to do it. Just a confirmation that we do get the penalty. We have to convert this to get ourselves in the game, and we don't convert it. Darwin Núñez pile drives the ball down the centre of the goal, and Neuer is there and parries it away. We get a free kick to follow up as another highlight just at the end of this first half. We're putting the pressure on a little bit, but again, the quality on the finish isn't there. And we do go in at half-time 2-0 down. I think in a lot of ways we deserve it. I mean, we've had 7 shots at goal to their 9, 2 on target to their 4. So you can see we're below on all of those. Our XG, that's weird, isn't it? Our XG rating is boosted by the penalty. I've just figured that one out. It takes me a little while. If you get a penalty, the XG gets bumped up severely. We should have got that goal. Of course we should have. Possession stats are very low, though. And so is the pass completion, 80% compared to their 92%. And those are the reasons that we're losing the game currently. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So let's go thrash the arms about. What was that? Get your act together. Just basically, because there's nothing else I can do really other than just try and encourage them for a bit more focus. So we're going to say that. We're going to focus them in the start of this second half. If we can find a route into the game, and that's a poor ball down the left-hand side, unfortunately. Everton didn't figure it, but he wins it back for us. Please did Núñez stay onside. He looked as though he drifted towards the goal for a second. Did he get back behind the ball? We'll have to check that one out in a second. But Kimmich does brilliantly to win the ball there. And then Everton just nicks it from him, like he wasn't even there particularly. I think we're okay on the offside decision. I think Núñez was behind the ball, and he was. 2-1 now. So that potentially just shifts the momentum just slightly at the beginning of this second half. Puts a little bit of doubt into the minds of the Bayern Munich players, potentially. We'll see what happens. Another chance for us. Benzabani with a a throw-in, and he gets it back again. We lose out, but they just boot it clear. Badiashili's going to win that ball for us, and hopefully we can work the ball down the pitch again and have another chance ourselves. We're working it down the left-hand side. Benzabani down there again, gets a little bit of space, puts the ball brilliantly into around the penalty spot sort of area, and Núñez gets a header at goal, and it goes narrowly wide. But the piling on the pressure, Porro with a free kick, we win the loose ball again, and that's not what we were doing in the first half, was it? We were not winning those loose balls, and now seemingly we are with a little bit more frequency, so that can only bode well for us. Benzabani has to go back to Sanchez, adding that extra person in the defensive unit just to play the ball to. And we work the ball nicely down the right-hand side. Tonali with Trincao through to Núñez, and he puts it in the back of the net for a second goal. And all of a sudden, within 15-20 minutes of this second half starting, we have turned the game around brilliantly well. And all it took a little bit at half-time was just a little bit of a poke in their face, really, just to say you're not doing good enough, and then just encouraging them with a little bit of focus. So we didn't change the tactic, we just changed the mentality of the players, and that seems to have done the trick for us in this second half. Now we've got to play this a little bit and see whether we can keep hold of this, if not improve it, over the next 20-25 minutes of the last section of the game. Bayern Munich back in possession, though. They've worked a real good opportunity. They've switched it from the central point to the more right-hand side, back into the centre point. Goretzka on the ball. Sabitzer and Goretzka are really great players, and they've worked a fantastic shot opportunity, and they put it narrowly wide, fortunately for us. We've got a highlight. We're going to play this out and then make a couple of personnel changes just to freshen it up. Núñez tries to feed the ball through. What happened there? They get a sending off. I'm not 100% sure exactly what happened, if I'm totally honest, but I will take it any day of the week. Porro on the free kick, and it's struck against the crossbar, I think. Comes back out. Everton's going to win the ball back for us. This is going to be much, much easier in theory to get these opportunities now that we're a man up. And Bayern has a player sent off. Can we make the most of it? We get a looping header from Trincao on that occasion. But now we get to make 3 changes in terms of personnel, just to see if we can freshen the team up a little bit. You can see the attacking third is particularly low in terms of their conditioning just at the moment. So Simic comes in for Costa. I'm going to switch those two round. Núñez will play in the slightly more advanced role. We've got a very, very underperforming Bernardo and the yellow card, so we'll take him out. What do I want to do? We'll have to put Luis in there and switch him with Tonali. Tonali, again, can play the slightly more advanced role. He's not playing brilliantly either, is he? Central midfield and in that central defensive position as well. But I need a little bit more from my attacking third, really. So we're going to take Everton out and put Moreira in down this left-hand side, just because he's got a yellow card and also he was low in conditioning. So 2 of the 3 that we've taken out were about conditioning more than anything else, really. And I think that's going to serve us well for the last 15-20 minutes of the game. Now that we've got that extra man, everybody should be upping their levels of performance, and potentially a little bit more energy in the final third might help us. So we'll see whether that works out. Bayern are still going to be able to keep the ball relatively well. They've got some good players, but they lose it there. Trincao intercepts it, charges down the right-hand side, crosses the ball in, header goes over the top. It was a difficult attempt from Núñez, really. Very, very tightly marked. Let's go into the shouts and fire them up for the last section of the game, see if that can increase anything. And it does immediately. Well, it probably doesn't. It probably had no impact on it. But what did was Trincao putting a brilliant corner kick into that near post. And the mighty man that is Badiashile being there, getting a good glancing header and putting it past the goalkeeper, past Neuer, into the back of the net. And we have turned this game around, but there is a highlight straight from the kickoff for Bayern Munich. Are we going to intercept it and counter-attack, or are they going to find a route through to goal and cause us a problem? We do win the ball back, so that's encouraging. Good ball early forward for Moreira, the substitute, gets to the byline, tries to cross in, loses out, and they win the ball back again, but so do we from their long clearance. Trincao, and he should have done better with that opportunity. Perfectly played through into the right-hand side of the penalty box, and he just booted the ball over the top of the bar, really. Not particularly great in terms of his composure on that opportunity. And again, Bayern have a highlight, but again, we win it back. And this is just going to be the story, it feels like. Whatever Bayern try to do now, they're going to struggle to get out because we've got that extra man. Tonali on the ball, cross comes in, and Trincao was really unlucky on that one. Just got a little glancing touch on it and put it against the post. It came back out. We still win possession, and Simic this time gets an opportunity to charge into the box, takes a slightly earlier shot than maybe the goalkeeper thought. And now we are comfortably clear. 4-2 with about 12 minutes to play plus injury time. Finally, having had that player sent off, it was a little bit fortunate, but we were already in control of this second half before that happened. And it looks like we are going undefeated in the group stage in a really tough group with Bayern Munich and Inter Milan and Basel in it. So I'm really, really happy about that. Still, Bayern Munich come back at us, but Badiashile sorts that one out for us at the back. We've got about 8 minutes to play. Darwin Núñez over the top, and he should have got a goal as well, and puts it narrowly wide of that post. But all the pressure coming from us in the second half. And I do think that even before the sending off, we were doing that. It was a good second half performance from us. We came out the traps really quickly at the beginning of the second half, and Bayern couldn't cope with it. And I feel like that's partly one of the reasons why in the end they got that player sent off, just because they were struggling to cope with us. And again, we hit the woodwork. It was possibly slightly easier to even put it in the back of the net than miss at that point, really. But we'll take it anyway. Trincao, unfortunately, a whole bunch of players which the ball ricochets off. And then Florentino Luis goes in for a bit of a silly challenge himself. A bit lucky to come away with no yellow card there himself. But we do just about manage it. Leroy Sané down that right-hand side on this occasion. He's so rapid. So difficult to cope with when he's on form. Simic through on goal. Did he move slightly early? Possibly, but he boots the ball over the top of the bar again. We've had a lot of really good opportunities in this second half. I'm not sure what our XG rating is currently. But there is another goal, another through ball. Darwin Núñez again using his pace to get away from the defence. Gets through one-on-one with the goalkeeper, slots it underneath him. We go to 5-2. And it's some really good play by Trincao. That is a brilliant first-time ball from him. And Darwin Núñez just sprints through the defence like they're not even there. Gets on the end of it, hooks the ball into the back of the net. 4.3 XG rating for us, which is pretty spectacular. Of course it was helped at 73 minutes when they got a sending off. Of course it was. 2 bookable offences from Pongracic. But we were doing all right before that. And we turned that game around. I'm really, really happy with it. Quite how, at the end of that game, Morato and Porro still come out with a 6.4 and a 6.5 when we played so well in that second half, I don't know. Sanchez as well, to be honest. But the rest of the team, including Trincao with a 10 rating, what did he do? He got 3 assists is what he did, which is pretty spectacular. Núñez with a 9.7. Overall, can't ask for much more than that, can you really? The FM gods smiled on us today, and we came out with a 5-2 fantastic win, and we go undefeated in the Champions League group stage. So So there we are. Simple qualification to the group for the knockout stages of the Champions League. We finish on 18 points out of 6 games. So an unbeaten record, 15 goal difference, which was amazing. The only other team to finish with 18 points out of their 6 games in the Champions League knockout group stages, get these right, is Liverpool in their group. So we are in good company in that sense. What this means for us in the knockout stages, I have no idea. We've progressed a couple of times through the group stages and also dropped into Euro Cup knockout stages as well at times. It's just been a little bit problematic once we've got there. So who knows? It depends who we get drawn against. Of course it does. And we're not going to know that for a little while. But you and I will come back next episode to play that Champions League knockout stage. And it will be somewhere in this sort of February, March time. So I've got a lot to get through between now and then, just to go through the back end of December, go through that January window. Not sure we'll be doing much business in the January window. Want to keep this squad together and moving forward, unless there's something really specific we can do to improve it. We'll see. And then we'll come back out of that January window and see where we're at. Of course, the other issue is always a couple of our big players might get poached by people that I might not be able to stop from happening. We'll see. But I'm really hoping not. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. It's been fantastic turnaround in that game against Bayern Munich. I thought we were going to struggle for a little while. And then it just all went in our favour, didn't it, really? And we will happily take it. I don't know who we're coming back for next episode. You'll have to come and join me to find out. But it's going to be a lot of fun finding out. And between now and then, lots of good stuff to continue to dominate in domestic football as well. We'll see where we can do that. Thank you for joining me today. Really appreciate it. Let's see whether we can finally get our hands on one of these European trophies and conquer the curse. Until next episode, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. That will help me get seen by more people. Until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.